I'm your host, Andrew Diamantopoulos. Today, we're diving into the world of indoor football with a special guest, Sal Lupoli Jr., who is the defensive back and linebacker for the Massachusetts Pirates. Sal's journey from Chelmsford, Mass. To the professional arena is a testament to his hard work and dedication. Known for his versatility on the field, he brings a unique perspective to the game. In this episode, we'll discuss his path to the Pirates, the challenges and triumphs of professional football, and what it takes to excel in the Indoor Football League. Loftside Bantr fans, you can visit us at www.loftsideBantr.com. We're available on the Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and again, just go anywhere, search Loftside Bantr. And the email is loftsidebanter@gmail.com. That's Loftside. Banter is spelled B-A-N-T-R @gmail.com. All right, let's get it started.
We are on in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
I don't really care what anybody says. That Monsters, Inc. opening is now the new transition from what the show is to the beginning of the show. That is the new sound, until I'm told otherwise not to use it. But anyway, back to the show, yes. So today on Loftside Bantr, we have quite a show for you. We're going to have our first installment of talking to the Massachusetts Pirates, part of the IFL, or the Indoor Football League. They are based out of Lowell, Massachusetts. They play at the Zonga Center. They're in the midst of a 2-game winning streak right now. And we're going to have a quick conversation with their defensive back, linebacker, Sal Lupoli Jr. He'll be joining me after their weekly film study. Sal Lupoli Jr. is a hometown guy from Chelmsford, Massachusetts. Went to college at Bentley University, was their all-time leading tackler with 337 total tackles. In May of last season, Lupoli Jr. was signed to the Tennessee Titans rookie minicamp team as an undrafted rookie free agent. He was the MVP in the Northeast 10 Conference, and he was the first defensive player to be league MVP in 24 years. He was also selected to the All-New England team. We have a great conversation coming up with that. Back to the Massachusetts Pirates. The Massachusetts Pirates have actually been part of 2 kind of arena leagues. The National Arena League from 2018 to 2020, and then they joined the Indoor Football League in 2021. So they've been around since 2017. And the fun fact about the Massachusetts Pirates is they have not had a losing season since they've come around. They've had one 500 year. Every other year, they've been in the playoffs and finished with a winning record. And those winning records have brought them to one IFL League championship in 2021, their inaugural season, and one other conference championship. So they won 2, and that was last year in 2024. Unfortunately, they went to the finals and lost. And now on to this season, you're going to have some exclusive interviews with their players and coaches, hopefully weekly. We're working on our second one for next week. I'll reveal towards the end of the show who we should have on, always subject to change, of course. But now that you have learned a little bit about the Massachusetts Pirates, we'll kick it over to the segment where we talk to Sal Lupoli Jr. This is going to be a very fun day for Loftside Bantr, as we have joining us today the defensive back, linebacker, Bentley University legend. He was invited to the Tennessee Titans rookie minicamp last season. He was an All-American at the D2 level, and he now wears number 21 for the Massachusetts Pirates of the Indoor Football League. Sal Lupoli Jr. here with us today. Sal, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Andrew. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Now,
thank you very much for having me on your show today.
I am more than grateful to have you here. Can you walk us through kind of your football journey a little bit? I know I've mentioned a few things, but can you tell me how you kind of landed with the Pirates?
Yeah, it's been quite the journey, So I mean, I've been playing my whole life, but I'll just start at Bentley. Went to Bentley and was very fortunate enough to do some great things during my time there. And landed a rookie mini camp with the Tennessee Titans this past May. So almost coming up on a year, to be honest with you. And so did the rookie mini camp, went great. They didn't end up signing anybody from the rookie mini camp, but their advice was stay in the mix. I played linebacker my whole life, and I switched to safety. So I was playing safety for the first time with the Titans. So one of their feedbacks were, let's see if we can get you some tape at safety. So we want to see you play in another league, whether that be the CFL, the UFL, even Arena. We want to see you run around as a safety. So, after that, I went on a relentless hunt this past year to try to play, more football, whether that be, again, the CFL, UFL, or Arena. And it started in Quad City, who was actually in our league. We play the Quad City Steamwheelers, and that was the team I was originally signed to. They were the team that kind of reached out to me first. And at the time, it was in December of last year, so I didn't have too much interest on going right to Arena. My focus was to try to get to the NFL. So, but had the contact, and once it kind of came around again this September, when I knew I was going to continue to play football, reached out to him, and I got signed by the Quad City Steamwheelers in about October. And we started up, the Arena starts up in March. So as March kind of got closer and I was about to leave for Moline, middle of nowhere, Illinois, I thought to myself, what if I were to reach out to my agent and see if we can work something out where, the local boy can stay home. Where we play, the Songus Arena, is where my high school graduation was. So I grew up 6 minutes from the Songus Arena. I'm a Chelmsford kid. I was born in Lowell, so I wanted to be home with my friends and my family. And sure enough, we were able to work something out. And, here we are. I started at camp with them, and I'm extremely grateful for Coach Griggs and Jawad and the Pirates for, allowing me to come on. I still had to make the team, but also when I got into camp for believing in me. So it's been quite the journey. We're excited for Sunday. We have a game Sunday home at the Songus, so we're getting ready for that. So all good right now, Andrew. Very blessed and grateful.
Perfect. Yeah. So what is it like to get an invitation to like an NFL rookie camp? Obviously, a lot of people don't know kind of how that process works. How did it work with getting the call from the Titans?
Yeah, it's that's the biggest thing you hit home on, is a lot of people aren't really sure how it works. So when you're in the mix, even before, I was fortunate enough, a lot of hard work went into it, but I led the country in tackles. I led the country in tackles per game. I broke every tackle school record, all-time tackles in a season, also in a game. I was the MVP of our league, the first time a defensive player has won it since the year 2000. So I was putting up a lot of great stats, and I had a lot of backing. So in my head, I was praying, hopefully an opportunity comes. But you got hit with the reality of you're a Division II football player. You're a tweener, which means, am I a linebacker? Am I a safety? And something I really thought of was I looked at my idols. I looked at the people that are in the NFL that I had similar stories or similar kind of journeys. And one of those people were Pat Tillman, who is the lock screen of my phone still. He's an idol of mine because he was an undersized linebacker, switched to safety, but he just played with this relentless passion. So that was my kind of mantra this whole past year of, all right, I'm switching positions. If he could do it, I can do it. And, went down to Florida with Test Academy and trained for my pro day, and ended up doing well at the pro day, and got a call from the Tennessee Titans Northeast Scout, who invited me for the mini camp. But to be honest with you, Andrew, we're both MVC guys. Not a lot of MVC people, get to that level to even any extent. So being an MVC kid, making it, and then also a Bentley kid, where in the past 45 years of the program's history, I can count on one hand for people that even got to a mini camp. So both of these were stories, and it still is, of overcoming the odds, being an underdog, working through the doubt, keeping that belief in myself, because my whole life I've been told, oh, you're a Chelmsford kid. That doesn't really happen to Chelmsford kids. Oh, you're a Bentley kid. Doesn't really happen to Bentley kids. But you got to believe in yourself. So that was how the journey has been unfolding. It's still unfolding. I'm still working hard every day and believing in myself.
Amazing. So what is the biggest difference between playing football, people going to the NFL, and then now playing in an indoor arena kind of football league?
Well, definitely. I got to be honest. The competition is still insane. Our team is filled with SEC football players, high Division I football players. I think again, same scenario, the underdog again. I think I'm the only, or one of maybe two Division II football players. So it's not like you're talking arena football. Oh, not the best competition. No. This is serious football with serious players. We have Alabama players on our team. We have Florida players. We have first-round draft picks. Half of our defense has been drafted into the NFL at some point in their career. So I'm surrounded by dudes. So the competition is still there. Naturally, the rules are different because you're playing indoors. It's 8-on-8 football. I like to call it like the WWE of football, not because it's fake, but because it's entertaining. Big hits, crazy catches. You're playing with these foam boards. You're hitting people over the boards. It's absolute madness, but it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember. So, I can remember the Arena Football League. Obviously, it's changed to the Indoor Football League, which is, I mean, you still have those boards that are there. You still have the kind of like it's still a shorter field, right? Is it 50?
Yeah. It's about, in total 50 yards.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do to prepare for these types of games? Is there anything different than what you did maybe at Bentley? How do you prepare yourself mentally for a game?
Yeah. Football is football. You're always going to have your preparation. But mentally, you're watching film again. Like, there's not too much different from Bentley. It's different schemes because it's 8-on-8 rather than 11-on-11. So your run fits are different. And the game at linebacker is played a little different. Right now I'm playing mostly linebacker, a little bit of safety, but linebacker in this league is like a strong safety. You're a free hitter or you're inside the box safety. It's not like a true linebacker as in outdoor football. So the run schemes and the run fits are a little different. But again, football is football. You're watching film. You're talking about film. I just got out of a film session with the team. You watch it as a team. You call out, okay, your calls with the team. And I would say it's very similar to how I prepare mentally.
Right. What are some of your personal goals for this season? I know you said you had signed earlier in the year, but what do you have for goals for your time with the Pirates?
I'm sure all people that are in this journey, or most people that are in this journey, their goal is to, get signed by the CFL, UFL, or NFL. And certainly that is my goal. I believe in myself, and I have to keep visualizing of those scenarios every single day of getting a call from the NFL. Like every night I'll visualize with those things, those phone calls taking place. So definitely that's a goal of mine, to get that phone call from the NFL or CFL. But as a team, this is the greatest team game on the planet, is to win a championship. We have 21 hungry guys in this locker room where, we want it bad. So we're definitely looking to one, make it to the championship, but two, to win, because our team last year, we made it to the championship. I wasn't on the team, but I guess we just kept on hearing, we made it to the championship. Now let's finish the job. So certainly to win a championship. And, personal stats, I'm not too sure. But this is a team game. This is the greatest team game. So as a teammate, I want to win the championship. I want to be with my brothers hosting up that trophy, but also getting a call at some point, from the NFL.
Now, growing up in Massachusetts, did you grow up a Patriots fan?
Oh, Andrew, that's like asking if water is wet. Of course, I grew up a Patriots fan. Tom Brady, a hero of mine. Again, I always looked at guys. Tom Brady's an underdog, but I couldn't really relate to a guy like Tom Brady. But I related to a guy like Julian Edelman, who was a hero of mine. I wore his jersey to every game. Undersized, underdog player who also changed positions. I love his mentality. He plays with passion. He plays with grit. He's probably the toughest one on the field, but yet the smallest. I look at myself the same way. I'm about a 5'10", 205-pound linebacker safety. That's fine size for a safety, but I'm not the biggest one on the field. But I will give you every single thing I have, every single play. I will play with passion and relentlessness. And that's how a guy like Julian Edelman plays. That's why I love him. He's not afraid of anybody.
Now, what was some of the biggest adversity you have faced in your career so far?
Oh, man. I mean, my career has been nothing but adversity. I've been an underdog my whole entire life. Getting to Bentley, they didn't deem me, even good enough to play. I ended up starting as a freshman. They thought I was too small to play linebacker. Ended up starting as a freshman. My senior year, went into my senior year, my last fifth year, the third day of camp, I tore my MCL and didn't miss a game. That's a maybe 4 or 5 month injury. I didn't miss a game. So I kept that belief. I kept the vision. What was the vision? The vision was to get to the NFL. The vision was to break, the all-time tackle record. And I guess every single day, no matter how my knee was feeling, I had to continue to see something that wasn't tangible at that time. So, and back through adversity again, I get signed by the Pirates, but first thing everyone says was, it's not a certain that you're going to make this team. So I came into camp with a chip on my shoulder, and I'm sure everybody was thinking, who the heck is this undersized dude running around with I just was going crazy. I was going crazy, hitting and just being physical, and every single rep I never took off. And in the beginning, I know everyone was looking at me like, who the heck is this kid? But over time, I earned that respect of not only the players, but the coaches as well. So I can name every ounce of my career has been battling through adversity. I'm not supposed to get a call from the Tennessee Titans for a rookie minicamp coming from Bentley, coming from Chelmsford, but I willed that to happen. I'm big on the visualization. I'm big on the law of attraction and believe in it when you can't even see it, so you have to outwork, those challenges. And I believe in that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, no, it's a great message to have, especially for people that are either at Bentley or at similar sized schools that are looking to accomplish what you have. And what would be is there anything else that you would tell somebody maybe similar size shoes as you?
Yeah, no, I love this question because I was constantly searching for those answers and for those players. We've been talking for 16 and a half minutes, and I've already mentioned, my idols, Pat Tillman, Julian Edelman, so I obsessed over those guys who had a similar journey. So to answer your question, keep believing in yourself. That's the main thing. Outwork everybody and be obsessed. I always was told I'm not going to do this. I'm too small for this. I'm not fast enough for this. At every level, even, here. I don't know, Sal, it depends. We don't know if you're going to make the squad or not. And, okay, no problem. And every single day I work my hardest. Sal, you want to talk about going to the NFL? I don't know how that's going to work out for your kid. You're a Division II football player. It doesn't really happen. Outwork everybody. Believe in yourself. Again, that is the most important thing. Believe it when nobody else can see it.
Now, I had read a story that I believe it was when you first went to Bentley in your freshman year, you showed up so early you had to have the janitors let you in to the weight room and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's funny. I forget where that's that I don't know where you found that. That's awesome. But yes, that's the truth. Me and a couple of my roommates, we would wake up at 4:00 in the morning, and we would, on our off-season lifts, this is a true story. We would bang on. It was the Dana Center. That's our sports facility at Bentley, and we would bang on the glass door until a janitor would come. And 80% of the time, janitors would be sweeping the floors at that time, and they would see us and let us in. We had the football equipment and our stuff, so they knew we were football players. But there was those times where we would wake up at 4:00, walk all the way down, to the facility and banging on the glass for about 15 minutes, and nobody would show up. And next thing you know, we were, okay, do we go back to sleep or do we keep on banging? So, right. But that is a true story. And that's the same idea as what we're talking about. My teammates and I, we just that was our thing. We were the hardest working guys. We weren't going to let anybody outwork us. So that's a funny story though.
So, a little bit outside of football. So, what are some of your off the field hobbies outside of working out to prove people wrong? What else do you like to do?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I'm actually currently in school still. I'm currently getting my master's, still at Bentley. I'm finishing up, my school. I'll be probably done by next fall, so I'm excited to finish up. But studying for classes, I love to hang out with my family. My family is everything to me. Being from a big Italian family, you're always with your family, so family's my number one thing. Hanging out with my family, staying in school, hanging out with my friends. And I live in the city right now. I live in Boston, so just being around the city, it's great. So those are some things I'm interested in.
Do you have a favorite pregame ritual? Do you have any superstitions, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have any superstitions. Like if I don't do something, I don't know if I believe necessarily in superstitions. If I don't have this special pair of socks, I can't function. I don't believe in that, but I do believe I have a routine that I've had for a while. I would say I like to get organized. And I lay out all my equipment, right in front of me, in the locker room as we're gearing up to put our equipment on. I lay all my stuff out. I tape my ankles, I tape my wrists. I use the same kind of tape I've been using since high school. I'll go to there's a store called Center Sports that still is around, and I've been buying my tape since high school there. So I still buy my tape, from Drew and the guys at Center Sports. So just little stuff like that, just the routine. I'm a routine kind of person. I like to have the same kind of meal, chicken, rice, or pasta, with broccoli, no sauce, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So the Pirates have been successful since they've come into the league. As you said, the team went to the championship last year, have had a winning record almost every year. What is kind of the culture in that locker room that really provides, a winning mentality?
100%. Being a local kid, I always heard about the Pirates, and because they were always, beating everybody up in this arena league. And so, again, I am extremely grateful and blessed to be a part of the team now, because I would always hear about these guys. But I think it starts at the top. Jawad is a tremendous leader. He's the owner of the team, him and his family. But he is here every single day. He shows up to practice every single day. He watches film with us. So to see your owner, watch film with the guys, take care of us like he does. I mean, he takes tremendous care of us. To see him going to practice, that's we learned this in class. Top down leadership. So when you see the boss doing all the work, it makes you compelled to work even harder. And we have great coaches. Coach Griggs, the head coach, Coach Toby. Offensive side has great coaches as well, who are just football fanatics. We'll be on the phone. I'll be on the phone with Coach Griggs with a couple of the players and Coach Toby. Last night we were on the phone till 11:30 at night, just watching film. We're on 3-4 way call. So there's tremendous work ethic in the building, and it's contagious as a player. So, but it starts with Jawad. He's an incredible owner. And also I want to shout out, the media team and the sales team. And every single day we come in, the media team, the sales team, and those behind the scene guys and gals are here every single day, and that motivates us as players to see them work as hard as they do. So everybody in this building is an extremely hard worker, is passionate about the game, and certainly passionate about the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, organizations obviously need to be top to bottom, and it sounds like the Pirates are doing it the right way. So for this game that's coming up against, you're playing the Green Bay Blizzard. What's something that you're looking forward to, or is what's something that you need to do to be able to get the win?
Yeah, I think we have to control the run game. That's in every football game. They have a good running back. He breaks tackles. He makes guys miss. So I think number one priority is to control the run game for sure.
And then, one of the last few questions I have for you is, what you've mentioned it, a few different things, but what's the part of your game that you're working on the hardest right now? What is something that you're looking to improve as you play for the Pirates?
Instantly, I'm looking to improve, every single day. So I think one of the main things that jump out is that man coverage. I played linebacker the majority of my life. I'm playing a little bit of safety here, and certainly in practice, I'll get a ton of safety reps, whether it be one-on-ones or 7-on-7, or just team playing that new position. So I would say definitely man coverage is something that I still am working very hard on. But every facet of the game. I want to be better every single day. I want to be better than I was yesterday, whether it be a run fit at linebacker, making a tackle as a linebacker, trying to make interceptions, or long snap, and I'm also the long snapper. How can I improve long snap? And so every single day I walk into practice, I'm focused on improving, at least one aspect of the game, whether yesterday it might be man coverage, today might be, let me focus more on the run fits today. Let me understand this more. Let me get better than I was last week.
Gotcha. Now, before I let you go, who are the Patriots going to draft at number 4? Or who do you want to see?
It's so, I hate to answer these questions because I love football so much. And I've been around football since I was 7 years old. My dad was an old football coach. I was the water boy, the T-boy. I was around the game so much. I could maybe tell you 3 NFL players in the league right now. Like, I don't know why. I just don't totally focus on that stuff. So I hear there's maybe a mock draft with Travis Hunter in the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear we also might need a lineman. Mock draft was a left tackle. I'm not sure who the player was, but I'm sure Coach Vrabel, he's an unbelievable coach. We'll get it done. As New Englanders, we always find a way.
Right. Well, Sal, I'm very grateful for your time. I hope to speak to you again. I wish you all the luck, for all of the things that you've accomplished over your life, and, to see the things that you've accomplished, and, just kind of even just reading about them. I mean, you're definitely an idol for people to look up to. You're definitely somebody that, playing at Bentley, and then, like you said, this doesn't happen to these type of people. What you've accomplished is absolutely amazing. So I wish you all the best of luck, man.
That means so much, and I'm very grateful to be on your show. This was a blast. But I want to leave it at this, because that's what it is. It's for those people that are watching, because I was always searching for those people that were underdogs and who always were told no, and always were told you're never going to do something. Just keep believing in yourself, because if you can see it when nobody else can, you can do it. So again, Andrew, I appreciate this so much. I'm very grateful to be on the show.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. I'll be up in the Lowell area at some point. Hopefully, we can do a face-to-face, and then we can kind of, keep getting your message out there. And again, I wish you all the best of luck. I wish the Pirates the best of luck, and hopefully, I can be sitting along those boards one day and have to catch one of you as you come over.
I love it. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you so much, Andrew.
All right. Have a good one. And I thank you very much to Sal Lupoli Jr. for coming on and being the first guest, a part of the Massachusetts Pirates weekly conversation. As we mentioned kind of during that interview, the Pirates have a home game in Lowell, Massachusetts against the Green Bay Blizzard. They play on April 27th. It's at 4:05 p.m. Looking for their 3rd win in a row. So they're on a bit of a streak right now. If you're looking for tickets are on sale at masspiratesfootball.com. Again, that's masspiratesfootball.com. And with that, we'll switch gears a little bit to some NFL news. I recorded a short kind of draft preview for the last episode, got up just before the draft started, and, kind of had gone over the top 5 picks and kind of what I thought was going to happen. Top 5 almost ran in exact order that I said. The big difference is obviously the trade, where the Jacksonville Jaguars gave up quite a bit for the 2nd pick to take Travis Hunter out of Colorado. You're moving up 3 spots. Again, there's a lot of value to these draft picks, and those sheets that say what should be traded for what and everything else like that. But as of right now, it seemed like they gave up a lot. the Jaguars. Patriots took Will Campbell Jr., the offensive tackle from LSU. The attitude in his interview right after, where he's crying because he's so happy, he says he'll die for this team and Drake May and stuff like that. I mean, it's all the right attitude, which is what you wanted to build here in New England with Coach Vrabel. We're in the middle of the second round right now. Patriots took Trayvon Henderson, the running back out of Ohio State. Still waiting for that wide receiver again. Maybe they feel that Stephon Diggs is going to bring a lot more and that the second-year guys are going to do something to really elevate their game this season. So a little bit of an update after rounds 2 and 3. Shedeur Sanders is still on the board, so I'm not really sure what's happening there, but there may be a team that gets a steal on a quarterback. At least it's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Later on, past the third round, into the 4th, 5th, 6th round type area. After Shedeur Sanders, Jalen Royals, who I really like as a wide receiver out of Utah State. Cam Scatterborough is still on the board. Dylan Sampson, the running back from Tennessee. Some edge rushers, Braden Swinson from LSU. Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State is also still there as an edge rusher. I'd like to see the Patriots go out and get him in a later round. As far as what the Patriots actually picked up in the second and third round, they went out and, like I mentioned, they got Trayvon Henderson early in the second round, a very good running back that really helps with that backfield kind of room. Ramondre Stevenson is still here, Antonio Gibson, but if Stevenson's going to have fumble troubles, you have somebody that can kind of be that every down back. They also went out and got Kyle Williams from Washington State as their wide receiver. I said in my preview I wasn't a huge fan of him. Him now wearing a Patriots uniform, I'll have to see the positives in what a lot of the experts are saying in his game. They're saying he can play an inside-out wide receiver role, and he can kind of bounce around with Stephon Diggs, and they'll never be in the kind of same positions. So that makes it a little bit more interesting of an offense, especially with Josh McDaniels back. And then they went out and got Jared Wilson, the center from Georgia, who was the number 1 center on the board. A really good replacement for David Andrews, also a Georgia alum. If Garrett Bradbury can't find his starter form that he had in Minnesota when he was first drafted, it's a good pickup to have as far as that backup. It probably means that last year's starter, Ben Brown, is probably not going to have a roster spot. Now, again, injuries happen and everything else. Again, I didn't think Ben Brown played horribly last year. I don't think he was the problem on the offensive line, but there were always going to be better players. I think the Patriots will go a lot more defensive during these last 3 or 4 rounds. They made a couple of trade downs. They picked up an extra pick this year. They got an extra 4th round pick for next year. So they've acquired some capital while also identifying the players that they wanted. Hopefully that they wanted. The problem with trading down is fans look at it and say, hey, you're not going to get the better players. You're allowing players to pass you by. You're allowing all these different things. I really wanted them to get Jaden Higgins. He went really early in the second round. So Kyle Williams is the guy, wide receiver-wise, like I mentioned earlier, that they pick up. I don't think you need to go get another wide receiver. It probably doesn't hurt. But again, I think these 3 rounds will be more heavy defensive with some nice depth chart players. One of the teams I think that has done very, very well in this draft has been the Chicago Bears, getting Colston Loveson, arguably the best tight end in the draft. Got Luther Burden, the wide receiver out of Missouri, in the second round. Ozzie Trapilo from Boston College, the left tackle. Offensive line was obviously a problem for them as well. And Shimon Turner from Texas A&M, the defensive tackle. So those are 3 second-round draft picks, and I think they put together a very, very good first couple of rounds. Now, they had nothing in the third round. They have a 4th, a 5th, and a 7th left, so they can add a few more pieces, but they've had a really good draft so far. For next week's show, as of right now, we have head coach Frederick Griggs on. He's the head coach, defensive quarter, and defensive backs coach, so wearing a lot of hats while also running the whole show. We have him lined up as of right now, again, subject to change. So we may have something, and again, I'll lead into it with a nice introduction and everything else so people know, and then we'll kind of make an announcement on some of our social media. This has been amazing for me to be able to talk to Sal Lupoli Jr., be able to really kind of connect with the Massachusetts Pirates and help get the podcast out there. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to do this. So again, I thank you for the help I've been getting to be able to have this opportunity. And then some news for the podcast. We had the meeting with Fantasy Turf War where we met some of the other players, kind of explained what we were doing there and everything else. I was very grateful to be able to meet those people. And again, we'll have some news with that as the season gets closer. The idea will be to have a lot of the people that I'm competing against and in other parts of the league come on the show. And hopefully we can trade off on that to help each other make some content and then grow our brands with everything else. And again, that is a very grateful opportunity that I've had. And some of the other exciting news with gaming and stuff like that, as I've said before, Disillusioned Gamer is my Twitch following. And again, play some games on the side as I'm a competitive psychopath and always want to win different things, and so I play different games. With my Twitch account, we're being sponsored by HelloFresh, which they do normally do with some streamers here and there, which is kind of cool. But again, that is something that is going to be sponsoring my Twitch for a little while, and then hopefully I can get them over to the podcast. I'm very grateful for the support I've gotten so far. We've had quite a few views, more than I thought I would have at this point in time. So, that obviously makes me very happy. But, I'm looking to help market this a little bit more. So if anybody could reach out, again, LoftsideBantr@gmail.com. That's Loftside BANTR@gmail.com. And you can visit our website, Loftside Bantr, spelled the same way, .com. I'm looking to get it out there to more people so that way it can continuously grow. I'm doing this all by myself at this point, so it's hard for me to kind of do all those different things. But if anybody has any information, please let me know. And I would love to be able to have some conversations about how to keep making this grow more and more. Thank you again to the Massachusetts Pirates. Thank you again for Sal Lupoli Jr. for his time today. Again, we're going to do this one a little bit shorter. We'll build some of these interviews into some of the other episodes. One of the next ones that I have is with the first family of hockey, Sir Daniel and his better half, Christina, the Ice Queen, going over the Boston Bruins season, which wasn't great. So we'll have that as one of our next episodes. And then from there, the next interviews will be built within different episodes. But this was a good special one that we wanted to roll out by itself, kind of get you introduced to the Massachusetts Pirates. And then, again, I wish them all the best of luck for the rest of the season. And hopefully should be there in person at some point to be able to do face-to-face interviews. Still working on that bit, but we're going to keep trying. Like I say at the end of the episode, wherever you are, have a good morning, good evening, good night, and we'll see you all next time.
So Hartley lines up at the 23, which makes this a 31-yard field goal. He hit his first two today from 25 and 30 respectively, has missed the next two. 31-yard field goal from Hartley to win the first championship in Massachusetts franchise history, and he's done it!
And the field goal attempt is good. Final score in overtime. The Pirates 37, the Raptors 34.